Welcome everybody to our Mentor Monday today, June 10th. And I'm actually going to be kind of hosting this and passing the microphone on to our key speaker today. We're all going to learn a lot. I just want to share, though, a bit about my background because I've been involved in network marketing for many, many, many decades. 1981 was the year I was introduced to this amazing, wonderful business of networking. And everything I did, of course, back in the 80s, 90s, even early 2000s was old school and the things I was taught by my mentors, which is, getting out, hustling, making new friends, new acquaintances, building trust with people you work with, working into their market. Who do they know? And so it taught me how to become social, develop skills, communication skills, the skill to identify someone when they're ready, and the skill to even uh, inspire and influence someone to make that decision to say, you know what, I'm looking for a change in my life, and I believe this is where I can do it. And everything you're telling me sounds wonderful, and I'm going to give it a try. And that's how I basically have built my business over the years. Having said that, I've learned, a lot through other people that have, and a lot of them are kind of from the younger generation, but not necessarily everybody, where social media has a place as well, because especially during COVID, everybody cocooned. We couldn't go anywhere, do anything. So everybody was online. Everybody was looking at whether it's, YouTube, Google, whatever. And so a lot of people decided to take that time during the COVID years and become social media influencers. And I follow some of them, especially in health and wellness. One of my favorites is Peter Attia. I love Peter Attia. Andrew Huberman. These are guys that basically developed a big following by doing their social media podcast and so forth. But of course, in our industry, there are those as well that have done the same thing. So there is definitely a place for social media when it comes to learning the business. I mean, you can go on YouTube and just look up, network marketing mentors or coaches, and they're everywhere. You've got Eric Worre with GoPro. You've got, of course, Randy Gage. You've got Darren Kidd. There's a whole bunch of them, that are doing, educational podcasts and videos. But what does that do for you when it comes to building your business? We all know action is the only way that it happens. Action.
Sure.
And this business is about people. You can be an expert, know everything about it, but yet you haven't succeeded at it. Why is that? It's because you've not taken that knowledge and implemented it into action or converted it into action. And so that's what really needs to be done. Networking is about people. So obviously, we all have to develop the skills of working with people. Now, how you get those people, there's many different ways. There's many ways to catch a fish. There's all kinds of different bait and hooks and rods and reels. And, there you can have one guy go out to a lake and doesn't catch anything. Another guy's 10 feet away and he's catching fish like crazy. All right. So prospecting is the same way. There's different tools you can use to prospect. And we're going to be talking about this today. And Daniel Hernandez is going to share a lot with us about prospecting, finding new people. But no matter what method you use, whether it's meeting somebody at the grocery store and engaging in conversation, and they're complaining about how there's more a month at the end of the money, they need to make some extra money, they're trying to figure out what to do, you introduce them to this, all right? Or you get on Facebook and you start browsing around different Facebook communities and groups, and you get into a community, you plant a few seeds, you start messaging a few people, and you develop friendships with somebody that way. Or you go to a seminar, and my wife and I have done this. We've gone to a seminar I forget her name now. She's a Hawaiian lady that came down here and was trying to break into the motivational speaking market, like Tony Robbins does. Amanda something, and we went to one of her. So it was free, but she was selling her package, of course, for a couple $1,000s. But when they went around the room and they asked people what they did for a living, and I stood up and said what I did, I found it quite interesting that at lunchtime, all these people were coming around me asking me questions. You see, so no matter what you do, to attract people, and social media, that's definitely a way to attract people. At the end of the day, when it's all said and done, you still have to have the skills, the ability to develop the relationship, to develop the trust, to work with that person. Let me tell you, the greatest tool in your toolbox is not Facebook. It's not putting flyers out on cars. It's not, just going out there, having somebody say, I'm going to go out on the streets and start talking to people. That's great. And I like that actually more than anything. Here's why. Because the greatest tool in your toolbox is you. But you have to work on sharpening it like a knife. You've got to sharpen the skills. You've got to take the chance. You have to embrace change. All right. Just even when it comes down to a handshake, I've shaken people's hands and it feels like a wet fish, dead fish. All right. And I've shaken people's hands and I could feel like, man, it's a good handshake. They're confident. They got power. So from the handshake to the introduction, to the meeting to someone, well, we all have personalities. But you know what? You can work on changing that too. I was a quiet, shy, timid person. This business brought me out of my shell. It taught me that I don't have to be intimidated by everybody, especially adults. I was intimidated by anybody older than me when I was in my early 20s. And so this business taught me that we're all the same. I'm just like everybody else. Randy Gage, Tony Robbins, we're all the same. Some have just decided to develop skills more than others. But we all can develop skills. Anybody can, you see. It's all up here, and it's all about embracing. And I'm serious about this part. Embracing change. I've been doing this for 43 years now, networking. The biggest thrill I get out of it is when I get to watch somebody like Nusi and Anderson in Brazil, all right, how they have developed, transformed, become amazing networkers now. I look at their level of confidence. I look at the skills, and now, because of their confidence, the skills they've developed, the knowledge they've developed, they're working up higher. I call it higher on the food chain with people they're bringing in the business. You see, Nusi just sponsored a great networker. I had a call with the general manager in Brazil last week about this guy. And I asked her the question actually with him, because he's a really humble guy, nice guy. I said, Nusi, do you think you would have gotten Andre in this business 4 years ago? She goes, no. So again, no matter what tool you use, which we're going to be talking about right now with Daniel, you still have to keep sharpening you. All right. So having said that, I want to pass the microphone to Daniel Hernandez down in Mexico. You're in Monterrey, Daniel?
Yeah, I'm near Monterrey. It's Torreon. I don't even know it. It's like 4 hours from Monterrey. Yes, it's
Okay.
also extremely hot. So, but I'm very close over there. And hi to everyone. And as you were saying, Dave, and I have a question for you right now, Dave. I mean, before I lose my train of thought, it's about you said that you were not like this hyper social person. I mean, you were like more like timid, what made you change that? Was it
I
like
was
the
never
business
growing up,
or
I was never a leader.
okay?
I was a follower, but the reality is you do have to be a good follower to learn to be a good leader because that's how you
Right.
learn. All right.
Sure.
But what happened was my mentors, my early day mentors that I would go, to opportunity meetings and listen to them, and then they might take me to a seminar. I was very fortunate to have somebody push me. Somebody say day, and and sometimes it was actually I was a victim of circumstance, we'll say. Like the first time I did an opportunity meeting in public, I thought I was going to pee my pants. I was so scared, but I had to do it. I had guests there, and the person didn't show up, and so I challenged myself, and I just stood up and did it. So it's just really it's a process, Daniel, and
Good.
I embrace the process, and through the process, I started learning that I have the ability to change. I have the
Perfect.
ability to develop, to grow, to be better. And so I
Perfect.
worked on that.
Yeah, and that's something that you chose. I mean, there's got to be a decision. I mean, you chose to be a leader because many people don't make that choice. I mean, they don't take that choice, sorry. And the thing here is that the topic we have today is parachute skills, and it's mostly those ones as from a video that I saw from Randy Gage. He actually mentions those. So those skills that are basic skills that any networker that falls anywhere can actually do the business. So it's like the basic skills. And one of the most important ones is the one that Dave was just saying. It's like we need to know how to connect with people. And uh, thanks to social media, it's easier and it's also harder, Why harder? Because we can be deviated by many people that don't know what the difference is between networking and marketing. Yeah. And many people think that network marketing is also just like having ads, yeah, like in TV with your products, and that's not connecting with people, and networking comes before marketing, right? Like network marketing. We need to actually have a network and build a network from people using different abilities. I mean, those skills. And sometimes I was also a very shy person when I was young. So that's why I asked you that question, Dave, because I was very shy. I was also very shy. I loved my books and I was just only reading. And I was a nerd from the beginning, and I'm still a nerd, but I love to connect with people now. And learning those skills, how to connect with people, was also like an accident that they push you to do it, but you have the choice to either do it or not. Yeah. And that's something that we cannot take away from network marketing, that networking is the base of everything, like connecting with people, for them to know who you really are and how to connect with them. And I have a very important question to you, Dave, because the principles are the same. I mean, it's not going to change whether it's in online or offline. It's the same principles. We cannot change that. And a question to you, Dave, before I also ask Jillian and several ones over here. It's like, um, what are some of those like skills, let's say, to connect with someone and build that trust? Because you said that it's important to build that trust with that person, and you also learn when someone is ready. And I think that's something that there's a very sweet spot over there that maybe people cannot perceive.
Right. Well, I think the first thing is you have to come from a position of knowledge and a position of strength when you talk to anybody.
Good.
Okay. I mean, if you're going to share something, you should really know a little bit about what you're sharing. You don't have to be an expert at it. I don't consider myself an expert, honestly. I'm learning all the time. All right. But I know enough
Good.
about my company, my product, the opportunity, this whole business model. All right. So when I do talk to somebody, I can tell them what I do for a living. I can tell them, or even if I wasn't doing it for a living, if I was just getting started, I could still tell them about my new business. All right. And I think that the real skill, Daniel, is this. It's not, and I say this all the time, it's not always what you say, but how you say it.
All right.
See, you can say something to someone and be so boring, and just non-enthusiastic that it's not going to inspire anybody.
Sure.
And then you can learn. This is a skill. You can learn to talk to someone and come from a position of enthusiasm about your new business. And then you combine that with knowledge. All right. You combine that with conviction, and that becomes all of a sudden inspiring. And when someone's inspired enough, and in many cases desperate enough, and that's why I like crisis, when we're in times of crisis,
Mhm.
people get desperate, and now they're willing to listen, you see. Then it's just a matter of the influence saying, look, do this. You got nothing to lose. All right. And that's another skill. the skill, people call it the close. All right.
Sure.
And I call it the open. The reason I call it the open is because, Jillian's a good example. We didn't know each other and we met each other through Claudia. And here we've got this great relationship now, and even with her husband, Chris. And so it's an open simply because you're hoping that that relationship lasts a lifetime, that you work together and build, you see. So it is a process. But yeah, I think the most important thing really is coming from that position. That's why I always say knowledge creates confidence, and confidence should create action. But the $1 million question is, how do you get everybody to take action no matter what it is? A lot of people, Daniel, like hands off. It's like they want to run an ad and build their business, not even looking at anything. It's like, I don't want to talk to you, don't want you to see me, but yet I want to build a big network. Ain't gonna happen.
No, it's not going to happen. No,
No.
no, it's not. And Dave, because I mean, I wanted to ask you that because sometimes they think, oh, it's because Dave can do it because he already has success. But I mean, you also started from zero. It's not. I mean, everybody starts the same in the same place, right?
Not. Let me tell you something. Not one person in my organization, except my father, and of course Gabby, my immediate family, knew me before For Life. Not one. Every one of my people I found either by referrals, by asking, do you know anybody that would like to build a business? And I say this all the time. I sold myself. Goes back to what I was just saying with the enthusiasm. And look, I was broke. It's not easy to be enthusiastic. In fact, I had no problem telling people, you guys, I'm so broke right now, I can't even pay attention. All right. I was broke, but that didn't detract me from the excitement I had about my new life, my new business, the future. I could see that with the right company, right people, right products, I could do this. In fact, I'll say this and pass it back to you, Daniel, real quick. The very first For Life event that we had in Utah, I want to say it was 1999, might have been 2000. And I remember standing up and telling, and the audience might have been about, I don't know, 250 people. And I said, I'm like the Indian that walks up to the chief and says, chance. And the chief says, no, you mean how? No, I know how. I need a chance. I don't know if you guys know the whole Indian, the Indians go, how? But anyhow, so that's how I was. I knew how. I needed a chance, and For Life gave me that chance. And I'm very grateful for that. And that's what I get frustrated sometimes, because I feel like I want it more than the person I'm working with wants it.
Sure.
And that's really something I struggle with. Like, come on, let's go. I'm going to run with you. Let's run. And yet they're like back there sitting down on their butts. Anyhow, go ahead.
Awesome. Great. So asking just one question before I go into something more online to you, Dave, because as you said, you're like old school. That's how you say it. But I think more than old school is like you really know the principles. You know how it really works. It doesn't really matter what tool you're going to use. You're still going to do the same. If you had to start For Life all over again, what would you do right now?
Well, look, we all have strengths and weaknesses. I'm learning from Jillian right now because she's very methodical. We'll have to bring her into the conversation here. She basically comes from a background of structure. She was, she can tell you, she was with Avon, but she had a whole team of people that helped her build systems, and so she comes from, like I said, that background of structure. I am more of a, rely on myself, but that's not necessarily duplicatable. And that, I try to teach people to develop the same skills I've developed, but, if I were to start all over again, I would definitely rely on my strengths, which is my strength. Well, my strength is making friends with people in person. All right.
Good.
And, again, ask questions. Do you know anybody? Would you, when I meet, because meeting people, look, you can do it at church. You can do it through family, if you got cousins and people, ask, I'm starting a new business. But the problem is that immediate people tend to not believe you unless you've done something big in the past.
Sure.
If Bill Gates calls his family members and says, hey, I've got this new project I want to tell you about, you're going to listen. If Elon Musk calls you, you're going to listen, you see. But since most people haven't established that kind of credibility when it comes to building successful business, when you go to your immediate family, they tend to mock you a little bit. So getting through that can be a bit difficult sometimes, but you have to come from an attitude of strength. Declare yourself and say, look, I've come across a business and I'm looking for business partners. And and I even say, if you don't want it, it's fine, but do you know anybody that
Good.
would be interested in building a business? And then expose yourself, meaning that, look, there's seminars all over the place that you can go to. Like I said, Gabby and I, in fact, there's one here in San Diego right now that's going on. Different networks, health and wellness networks. I mean, just you look online, but even if you Google, put in your county and say, look, go to the county, health seminar, business seminar, and a lot of times they're free because people want to sell you something there, but you can go meet people. So I would use my skill of meeting people because I find it fun. I find it fun and challenging. Like I always say, it's like playing chess, from a handshake. I'm just that way. I love the mind game of meeting that person and asking them what do they do for a living. They ask me, and then I let them know, and I just kind of start, and I introduce them to this. It's just kind of like, each move might be different. That's my skill. Now, my weakness is really the whole social media thing, but I need to get better at that simply because people follow people on social media.
Sure.
All right. Well, if I want people to stay connected, it's one thing getting them connected. Keeping them connected is something else.
Sure.
And that's why you have to be active on Instagram, on Facebook, have your groups, your private groups and so forth. And even on, if you're going to do training and stuff, you have a recorded, videos, YouTube, and develop that following. So I know it's a long answer, but here's the thing. Even if you develop the following online, it's like a revolving door. People are coming, people are going. The key is you want to keep as many people as you can. How do you keep people? Provide value. That's why people love the 4Life products, because the value. There will always be people around the world that are going to want to buy 4Life products because of the quality, the value it brings to your life. And that's why I chose 4Life, because at the end of the day, we do have a product, you see. And that's where I see a lot of people get in network marketing, they work it until it's not good anymore. They've squeezed it, like they say in Spanish, exprimieron everything they could out of it. And now they're on to something else. 4Life's not that way.
No.
See? So anyhow, that's the long answer about my strengths and weaknesses and what I would do.
That's amazing, because it's a great segue to now where I'm going with Jillian.
Yeah, bring Jillian on in.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's where I'm going, because I mean, I think it's very important for us to see that it's actually the same thing, but now we have to do it also systematically, also in social media, because I mean, we also have a community that I'm going to invite you, Dave, to go there too. It's more than 5,000 people that we have there, that we have been there in a group also on Facebook. And I've come to love social media to connect with more people. But it's an art as well, and it's about networking. It's not about this fabulous ad of H Pro that now is going to make everyone buy it. I mean, that's not the whole idea. The whole idea is to connect with people, and Jillian here is an expert in that too. So, but I want to ask you, Jillian, because well, you can tell us a little bit about your background, talking about how you integrated yourself into social media, because it's not the same about knowing about network marketing, but also saying, okay, I'm going to use these tools, because I mean, that's something that is pretty interesting.
Well, first of all, I want to thank those that are new to this meetup today. There's a few people here that dove in just because I made a list and invited them to anybody to come in to get to know the community. Because I know initially the conversation has been on the products, and I think we all have to go back to what we have, number one, and why we're passionate to begin with. And then once you go back to remembering the passion of what you bringing to the table, it's easy. I think that's what we get. We overthink. Oh my God, I got a prospect. It's all we think too much about the end result of conversion that we don't come back and go back to the value. Like, let's go back to the value. The value is we have something amazing. And I would never have ever, for those that know me, put my name towards something if I didn't believe in it. Right. So
Sure.
we have to believe in
Sure.
what the products can do for somebody's health. So the health is huge when it comes to my personal story. So what I overcame and what I heard so many of you on this call, and even so many more, the story is what brought me in. It was a story of the testimonials of, when I sat there and we did the Real Talk show, and Carolyn Rodriguez shared her story about her trials and tribulation of her health. It was the story of Tiffany and her daughters, and that just blew me over the wall when I actually heard what she went through. It's the stories that I hear from everybody else. And when those stories resonate to you personally, it's an easy presentation. So I don't like to use the word prospect because it has a negative tone in the field. It feels like I'm going in to do a transaction. So the big shift in your mind and mentality is, I'm not here to do a transaction with you today. I'm here to present you something of value. I would not present something of value to you if I didn't think it was going to do something of good towards you. So my whole mentality is feel good, share good, right? So that's the company. That's what I talk about. That's what our talk shows are on Mondays. If I feel good, I share good. So I think we have to go back to stop thinking that every person in front of us is a potential transaction. They are not transactions. There are people that are looking to overcome a problem, and we here have a solution. We have a solution in every aspects of their life. If you want to lose weight, I have a solution. If you want to be part of a community, I have a solution. If you're looking for hope and longevity, I have a solution. If you're hoping to make some extra money, I have a solution. I do have a solution now. I was lost in that whole transition of life when it came to building a relationship and building a business, because I did not have all the solutions I wanted for my targeted consumer. So I couldn't talk with confidence. Now you have to go back and remember, you are talking with confidence because you now have a solution that's not just about one thing. It's not about one aspect. Because believe me, I've had every mother and every company reach out to me and say, I have something for you. Oh my gosh, if I had been, bought the Kool-Aid from every single cryptocurrency or Forex company in the world that approached me, I would be, I don't know where I would be today. But I decided not to go that route because I didn't believe in the product and I didn't believe in the company. So you have to do your research. So everybody in this room right now, I guarantee you to put your hand up. If you've been in the company for a long time, you love the products, right? You love the results of what it's done to your family. Like Erica, I know you're relatively new, but you've seen the results of how it helped you overcome pain points. You see the hope of what it can do to help you with your recent diagnosis, right? So you know there's hope with your family. So what we need to do is just remember that, like, don't overthink. And this is what I used to do as a sales trainer. Yes, I was a sales trainer. Yes, I did teach social media. Yes, I did all the systems to, I even worked with a guy that had a system, like a social media system. But at the end of the day, you have to look at yourself in the mirror and say, did I add value to that conversation with that person today? Sure. Did they walk away thinking I had something good for them to give to others, even if it's not just for them? And if you walk away from that conversation feeling like that, then you're golden. We sometimes overthink it so much so that we get stuck and then we get fearful. Fear is the worst thing you could have. You walk into a conversation with love. Never walk into a conversation with fear. When you walk into a conversation with love of what you do and the impact it can have on others, you'll have results. And you'll also, and this is never go to that conversation with that. So we used to have this rule that we had when we were with Avon Land. And yes, I was a global trainer with them. And it was called the 4 A's. me and my acronym days, right? Always ask anywhere, anytime. There's nothing worse, and I used to do this, like your story could be somebody else's survival guide. I say that all the time. But if you have something that could potentially help somebody change their life, either physically, mentally, or financially, and you have that in your back pocket, you should feel obligated to at least introduce it to them. That's how I feel. I feel obligated to at least introduce it to them in some aspect. If it's not for them, it's for somebody else. I don't go all in, though, on the initial conversation, because I don't know whether or not they're ready to receive. Not everybody's ready to receive your information. So you have to do the questions. So you always ask the questions, open-ended questions. How you're doing? What are you doing? What are your pain points? What is it? What are your solutions? What are you doing right now? Would you feel better if you had this as an option? What would you say if I could help you make $500 this month? Would that make a difference in your life? Yes, it would. Well, guess what? I can help you with that. What are you doing right now to make some extra money? So you have those conversations in person, but guess what? You can have that conversation online. The only difference is that you want to get them in front of you, because that's when you feel the emotion. Text doesn't get you.
Jillian, sorry to interrupt you. It's funny because there are, not funny, but it's reality, that there are some that want to be successful in this business, but they're at a point where they don't even know what to say to the prospect. It's like, okay, tell me what to say. And I've got someone in Mexico actually that keeps messaging me, Dave, tell me what to do. Tell me what to say. I'm like, invite. And it's like, okay, how do I invite? I'm like, it's like, okay. So I think honestly, some people need a list of maybe 5 things they could say to someone, like, I've started a new business. I'm looking for business partners that would like to make some extra money. Are you interested? That's simple, or, there's a big wave right now in health and wellness. Have you heard about the new product that there is out there right now called Transfer Factor? No. You know what? A lot of people are making some money with this right now. You ought to take a look at it. Just what, but putting, and let them memorize 5 different questions that they can ask, or 5 things they could say, just to hook someone, basically, to bring them in and take a look and get them in the community.
Well, there are some tools we already have today within For Life. I don't know if everybody's actually had a chance to download the link for the Fast Start Guide. Has anybody seen that? Maybe I'll just try to find the link and put it in the chat box. And that's part of what you would do ideally with the onboarding. There's a physical one that he's showing right now, but there's also one that you can download off online from your app and actually on the For Life. And there's a link to it. And within that, there are scripts that have been provided.
Sure.
I did, as soon as I saw that, because I am Erica knows this, I come from the world of, let's create these scripts and systems and follow-up processes and communications. The only problem with that is they don't get too caught up that it becomes too scripted and it doesn't become authentic. So you put your flair in there. You have to make it personal. But yeah, there are some tools there. So thank you for that. Thank you, Daniel, for that. That is a great little, like a little, you don't have to be Fast Start, by the way, to use this tool. Just so you know, I would much rather, just be called like a quick, get started cheat sheet for you, right? Yeah, it's not you don't have to have done and bought the Fast Start kit for this. So it's a quick little cheat sheet for you to walk you through your why, overlooking, understanding a bit more about the company mission. And then it actually gives you really nice little scripts that you can start. What I also like at the end, there's actually a road to diamond map on that. And that's something that I loved. I had to get that from Jay Michael, who a little bit of sourcing and like, please beg me, I need this little checklist because I am a system person. But is everything that you need is in that little guide to get started. And I actually added it to the onboarding document I created because I think it's a great tool to have for somebody new. But those are exactly what Dave said. It's a little, if somebody wants to open it up, we can actually go through one of the scripts and see what you think.
Sure. Let me see if I can open it here. But that's something that I mean that fast start 90 is, as you're saying, is I mean it's just like a simple guide for you to get started. It of course we suggest starting with the fast start, but I mean it's not like a must. And something that it's very important as well. It's not like there's a golden script that's gonna make everyone get in the business or something like this that sometimes people think. But it's like that's not the way it works. You know, you still need to connect with people. And Jillian, well, I'm opening this. How do you connect with people online?
How do,
Because
are
that's
you, are you on
what do you do? Do you just click on anyone's text?
Actually, there's
What do you do?
there are some things that, again, because of my background, and I used to teach Facebook for connections. I used to do this prior to when I was in Avon days. And yes, I work with somebody that does do this as a system with his business. But however, prior to this, I just would look through my contacts and just see, build the relationships I have existing, because sometimes we overlook the people we already connected with first. Don't ever underestimate the person in front of you, because they may have said no 6 months ago, but that's because they weren't ready right now. Right.
Sure.
So you always keep checking in, and you allow them, ask them questions based on their circumstances today. So as Dave said, there may be a specific pain point that they're going through right now. And if you just have to read, like every day, you just walk through and you can assess whether or not somebody needs you. Guarantee somebody needs you based on their post. And that's where it just being my like little checkup. If somebody says that they're not feeling well today, so oh, I saw your post. Are you okay? Generally I'm worried about you.
Yeah, simple as
That's
that.
it. Simple conversation. How you doing? I just saw your post. Is everything okay with you right now? And you never know what that might lead to, because first of all, you're now showing that you care, and generally you do care, right? So those are people that are your warm market. But then there's a way of prospecting for those that are your cold market. And that is one of the best ways to do, is find out who your mutual friends are on Facebook. You find out who your mutual friends are. I said, hey, I just noticed you're from my town. You actually went to my high school together. How you doing? When was the last time you saw like Susie Q? I noticed that we're friends. So
The card that I played with Warm Market was, I've started a new business and I expect you to support me because you're my friend.
exactly right.
Great.
Seriously. I mean, I always say this, if I had a taco shop and I opened it up, would you come and try one of my tacos? Well, buy one of my
Yeah.
Energy Go sticks. Try
Right.
one of my products.
And you put
And-
a QR code on.
And if it's cold market, here's what I like about cold market. They don't know you. You could be, I always say this, you could be an intergalactic diamond and having made $100 million, or you could have started yesterday. They don't know the difference. So it's all up here. It's all how you talk, how you act, how you work, how you respond. And if you do all those things thinking like a platinum, guess what? You have told yourself, and I did this a lot. I was just starting the business, but I worked, talked, I did everything I could, well, there wasn't platinum at the time, it was silver, like a silver, and then guess what? I became a silver, you see? So that's really why I like cold market. Cold market, challenge yourself. That's the best place to make changes we're talking about. And then you'll get more confident.
Nice. Something I use personally a lot. It's the birthdays, because I use Facebook a lot. I mean, Facebook tells you when someone's birthday is. So it's a great way to start a conversation. She was like, happy birthday, what are you doing? How are you celebrating, etc. And then we start checking about how the person is. Go and check their profiles. They tell you everything, what's going on in their lives. And then you can really start a conversation that is warm enough. And okay, Julian, you were talking about this. This is the PDF that you can download using the Fast Start 90. And here you have the scripts that you were talking about, Jillian. Yeah?
Yeah. Are you sharing the screen? Sorry.
Yes, can you see it? Or you cannot see it?
Oh, I see it. Yeah, I see it. Yeah. That's exactly it.
Yeah.
So you can invite and you can sign them up. So these are just like a products approach for life transfer immune boost. Hello, I'm taking a product that's been clinically proven to activate the immune system within 2 hours and has been working wonders for me. Do you want to know more? So that's Me, I might flavor that up a little bit because I don't normally approach somebody with that kind of conversation. So make sure you flavor it up. So, hey, girlfriend, it's been a
Sure.
while. I just noticed that you're not feeling good. Like, oh my gosh, you should try this because it worked for me, right?
Simple.
Like here's something simple. Like you just convert it to a conversation that you would talk to in your language. I mean, so these are giving you basic scripts. There's nothing stopping you from trying that. If worst case scenario, you have fear factor, try this. See what your conversion rate is on that. So if you send out 5 messages and only one person responds, it's 1 in 5 actually responded to you, right?
Nice.
You see?
Yes.
I
Some
like this one. Hi, I'm starting my own business. I'd love to share some information. Can you send you a short video? That's simple. That's to the point. I don't think anybody would say no to that. Would you?
I think you said something that was extremely important, and it's that you already have some idea of what's going on in that person's life.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you already have a conversation, because one of the problems here is that some people think that just the script is just to send the script to many people without having started a conversation. You haven't even checked, I mean, how they're doing that day. You don't know if they have kids now, they change jobs, or I don't know. I mean, it's important to actually go and check how people are first, and then we can connect with them and see maybe they are ready to start something. And maybe you have them in the list of 6 months ago that they said no, and today you're gonna share with them again. And it's like, hey, hey, how you doing, Anna? Hey, do you remember last time how we talked about that business? And maybe you were not ready for that. Today it's changed a lot. It's been even simpler. Do you want to talk about it again? Do you want to
Yeah.
check it out? It's
That's
like,
really important, Daniel, what you just said about being able to check on them first, because I have seen people who've done systems in the past and, not realizing that the person had gone through a really bad situation, which is not ready to receive any conversation. And then somebody did a copy and paste. You're going to
true.
get blocked right away.
Yeah, you're gonna
Blocked
get
right away.
blocked. Yeah.
Yeah.
And social
Yeah.
media is amazing for follow-ups. Because some people think that follow-ups is just about the business. I mean, you can follow up on someone's life just by whatever their posts are and anything like this. And that can just start a conversation that can give them a connection to what our community is all about. Because something
Yeah.
that you said, Gillian, was amazing is about being able to connect people to the solutions that they need. And one of them is also having a community,
Mhm.
you know? I mean, and feeling just better, having a purpose, having a group of people that pushes them every day to grow better. I mean, some people just are like, I don't know what to do. I mean, they just don't really have a purpose. And here we're very purposeful.
Also, what's important, I really believe, is the recognition. And this is the area where I feel that I kind of, because I've been with For Life for 26 years now, and I kind of had forgotten how important it is when you sponsor that first person, number one. I've sponsored probably 140 something people in 26 years, the majority of them in the early years, of course. But even recently, there's a few that, and I consider sponsor, even though I was introduced by somebody else, I actually adopted them. Like I'm their sponsor that they look to work with. So I guess the point that I'm just trying to make is that, you know, when you sponsor somebody, that's just the beginning of the journey. And you have to be willing to travel that journey with that person. Be a good sponsor, you know, but celebrating success. I don't know if you guys see, even if it's sponsoring the first person, but like I look at the people that are on the trip in the Dominican. Have you guys seen any of the posts on social media of the
Yeah.
Dominican? You know, you see these people, they've all earned a trip. That's huge for free. 2 people get to go to the Dominican Republic, all expenses paid by For Life. You know, those are the things that you share that with people and show that, and that's inspiring. And that's really what we all need to do together is inspire and having a community like this and celebrating successes with that first person. Builder Elite, like Erica. She gets 3 people. She made Builder Elite. Jillian made Diamond Elite. And so, here, obviously, me as a platinum, it's taken many, many, many years to get there, but I have to go back in time and remember how it was 26 years ago when I started.
Sure. That's amazing. And I like the concept that you say that I've heard in some other times, but you say that instead of actually closing someone, it's opening. I mean, because that actually talks about what we need to do. As you were saying, it's like you're gonna continue. I mean, you just started that journey. It's not a closing is more like a sales concept, here in network marketing
Yeah,
is more about opening,
it's the
right?
open, you got, they've decided to become your business partner. I mean, really, that's what it is. They're your business partner. You sign them up. Now, I understand that your real partner that you've decided you want to spend your life with in building a business is David Lisenby. He's the one that pays us. He's the one that manufactures and has the scientists and everything, and administrates all this. But each one of us are looking for business partners to work with. And the best thing that you can do when you sponsor someone is be a good sponsor and understand upline serves the downline. It's funny how sometimes people say, oh, I wish that I was, Erminio's sponsor. I wish I was, well, you know what? He does have a sponsor. But the reality is upline serves the downline. You have to be prepared to serve that person well. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You're building a downline here. You're not building an upline. So, but you've traveled the journey with that person, and I'll say this: one hand, you're going to count on one hand those that you sponsor that are with you for life, that you develop that lifelong, that you're actually you're their sponsor, on paper, or in the app or however they signed up. But the point is, you'll count. Those are the ones that basically you work with the rest of your life that together get you to platinum.
All right. Yeah, and you gotta have that connection, right, with those people, like a very tight connection. And I wanted to ask you, Jillian. Well, first of all, congratulations, Jillian, with that
Thank
rank.
you.
I mean, that's amazing. And that rank that you have is one of the most important ranks here in the company, And I would like you to tell us, because you had to connect with people. You told us about the importance of knowing your product, about knowing the solutions that you have to offer to everyone, but I think that was the base on how you got to that diamond, right? Or how did you get to that? So
Well,
that, because there are people that are actually wishing to get there or to duplicate that in their organizations, because that's going to make a very solid organization that then can get you to platinum eventually, right?
well, to be honest, I'll with this, I never actually focused on the rank. Okay. And I think it was one of those things I had to talk to Claudia about that when I said, Claudia, I really don't want to be recognized. I really don't want to have my name out there at this point, because that wasn't what's in it for me. It wasn't my driving force. Now, some people, they want that rank, and it's something that they strive to. So how I grew, Danielle, was just authentically. So what I mean by authentically is like, my mission was to help people heal. So there are some people have different driving forces. Some people are, like you said, that today's point, their driving forces to, they're desperate. They want to earn money. And yes, I like the idea of earning money, but my ultimate drive was to make sure that I had a solid foundation. And Dave knows this because we've talked a lot about it. I thought I want to make sure that I'm anchored and that I'm solid in how I present myself going forward. So I'm not just thinking about today. I'm not thinking about today. I want to set up the actions and the processes in place for me so that I can grow and be Dave's next platinum. So I'm more of a strategist in the way I work. So each one of us is going to work a little differently, right?
Nice.
So yes, I have a long-term goal to reach this goal, but right now I just wanted to make sure that the people that I talk to, and believe you me, I did not go out there and blast the world that this is what I'm doing, right? Because some people do that, and they hope that they're going to grab a couple of bites here and there. But I wanted to be methodical in making sure that, the person that I'm working with, like, yes, I work with Dr. Ronnie. Dr. Ronnie and I we've been working together for a long time. But there's a reason why we chose this company, because it fit the needs of what we were doing with our side project.
Nice.
Everything, it kind of blended in with what we're doing outside of For Life. So I don't do For Life full time. It works for my brand. For Life is part of my existing brand, and For Life offers a solution for my clients. if that makes sense, right? So, but for what I would advise anybody to do if they are worrying about their ranking is stop thinking about what it's going to do for you, but start thinking about it, what it's going to do for the others. So like to Dave's point, like how is it going to help others, and celebrate everybody else around you. If somebody texts you at like 11:30 at night because they're concerned that they didn't make a certain bonus, like drop everything you're doing and make sure you serve them and try to appease that conversation, because they are part of your team. Is being a leader is being responsible for the well-being of those around you, right? For me,
Nice.
I want the people around me to feel good. I want them to feel like they're part of something that I believe in, and that's integrity for me. So I think, Danielle, I didn't grow on the intention of reaching a title. I grew on the intention of aligning my integrity and my trust and values with something that I know will work alongside what I already hopefully portray. So it just naturally grew. Okay.
Excellent.
So, and then that goes back to making sure every contact that I have, that I introduce them to something, and it's not about the money first, it's about the value, what they can do to the health first. And then the money comes later, because that's what I usually see happening. So, oh my God, I start feeling good. Oh my God, this is really good. I can't believe this. Oh my God, I gave this to my sister and now she can actually walk. I can't believe it. It becomes like one of those things, right? And then next
Awesome.
thing, well, I'm going to have to sign up. I'm going, she's going to sign up. I think we all have to sign up. That's just the way it is. And that's how it
Nice.
goes.
Yeah.
It's inspiration. I hope that makes sense.
It makes a lot of sense because I mean I knew that there was like an organic way of growing with your organization, and that's very important for all of us to also know that you gotta be passionate about what you're doing, about what you're sharing, that you're sure about it. You gotta be product of the product, of course. We gotta find which is our favorite one, and like find which are the great ones. Dave? We cannot hear you right now. Is your microphone on?
Hi, Dave.
There's
Can you hear?
something
I
with
think
the mic.
can you hear? Hi, Dave. Okay.
Yes, yeah. I'm just waiting for Dave's microphone. It's wanted to go on vacation or
Can
something.
you hear me now?
Yes,
Yeah,
perfect.
yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we
Yeah.
can hear
No?
you. Yes, we can hear you
Better?
now.
He can't hear you.
Can you hear me now? Hello?
We can hear you. You there?
Okay, yeah,
I can
Janet,
hear
can you
you.
hear me?
We
Yes.
can hear you. Yes.
Strange. My settings changed. I was basically saying I'm gonna have to drop off. I apologize. But
Okay.
I'll make Jillian, I'll make you host.
Okay. All
I
right.
can't hear you guys. I don't know what happened to my settings.
Okay. All right. We'll just continue. We'll just
All
continue
right,
this
you can hear me though,
conversation.
right?
All right. We can hear you. We can hear you.
Okay.
All right.
So you're the
All right.
host, Jillian.
Okay. I'm the host.
Thank you, everybody. Love you guys.
Okay. Bye. Bye, Dave. Danielle, you've actually gone stagnant as well. So I'm not sure. Can everybody hear me? Because I think it's like everybody's gone stagnant. I don't know if it's me or like, okay. All right. Okay. So
Hear you.
Danielle, I don't know where you went, but I guess I'll just take over the call for a little bit. It is actually 5:02. So we are going to be closing out for today. So, but I just want to let everybody know tonight is the Feel Good, Share Good show. For those who aren't familiar with Dr. Ramunda Inks, yesterday was her birthday. Okay, her birthday was yesterday, and tonight she's actually going to be doing a show called Overcoming. What's it called, Siobhan? It's oh my gosh, you should know this. It's about overcoming courage, right? And faith.
Having courage, not overcoming courage.
Thank you. So thank you.
Overcoming courage to learn how to be afraid. No, it's having courage. We should do some backwards shows though, and just freak
Yeah.
everybody out. So
Yes. Oh
how
my
to
gosh.
be courageous in 3 simple
So,
steps. Yeah. No,
Um,
it's about having courage. And where do you find that faith in the midst of a storm in your life? And we've all been there. So Dr. Ramunda's there, and a friend of mine from the attitude shift. He's an amazing guy. You guys are all going to love him. Dr. Frank Niles. He speaks to, he's worked with big corporations like Walmart, and he's just a powerful speaker and communicator, and he talks about things like courage and fear, which are this week and next week's topics. Next week is fear, and this week is courage. So he's going to be a co-host, and Erica is going to do her testimonial. Very cool. I understand Adriana is going to be our moderator. Claudia can't be there tonight. And if anybody else would like to jump on and help moderate, add links to the chat, we'd love you to join us.
And yeah, and Dr. Ronnie is always going to be there. She is our, obviously a resident speaker on these evening calls as well. Now, these calls, just so you know, like the Monday night calls, is just an opportunity to talk about holistic ways of healing in many mind, body, and soul. So it's a good way to, it's not a For Life driven show, but it's something that helps us spread the word of For Life, is spread the word of, community and healing. So I'm going to thank everybody for showing up on that call. Wednesday's call, just so you guys know, is all about pre-diabetic awareness, and Dr. Ronnie's doing a show on that. So if you didn't see last week's show on mold toxicity, wow, did I learn a lot on that show last week. So those are all contained in our Time for Life community group. Now, for those who are not part of that group, make sure you are in that group. It's not just for you guys. That community is for your customers or potential customers. You should be inviting people into that community so that they can see the great testimonials of some of the products that we've been using, but also the great health talks that we have are contained in there. So I just want to say thank you, everybody, for showing up tonight. And don't forget to just relax, invite people, know that you have something amazing to share. And I also want to say thank you. I noticed Casey's on the call. Hey, Casey. Casey's a beautiful soul that just stepped in to start. She's going to be doing the Dr. Ronnie project with us. And, I know you're going to love this community. We have people from all over the world on this call. We have Dr. Regina's from Africa. We have Maddie from Canada. We have people from all over the place. And we just love each other here. And we're all on the same mindset. And it's all about doing good, within our For Life business. So thanks everybody again. And you guys have a great day. And that's it. Any questions? We're all good? We're all good? Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Julie.
Thank you guys. Thank you guys. Take care.
Thank you, everyone. Have a
Bye.
great week.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Detox
Bye.
meeting next.
Thank you.